That is also something that you have observed last year. The look of the slide is awful first. You can recognize it even by the look of this yellowish glass, which appears to be centered. So at least it's awful for me, but it's recognizable for you. But you will recognize it without this artificial look at the periphery of the slide. What you're observing centrally here, first glial cells, obvious, and then the central cavity here, which appears informative. The central cavity actually is, whoops, sorry. What do you see? As you see it, is predominant of leukocytes along with desquamated glial cells, along with death leukocytes who have released their lysosomic enzymes and they have lysed all of this structure along and together, along with foamy macrophages, which majorly should be positioned next to the membrane of the abscess here. There you go, foamy one again. One more here, one more here, one more here. And predominant population of leukocytes, which appears to be with segmented nuclei. You can recognize them really clear. So pretty much this is the abscess cavity in here. And this is the demarcative membrane around the abscess. Now, should we expect fibrous tissue to be around the abscess? We see some beginning of formation. That's when the blood-brain barrier lets fibroblasts go and eventually migrate through it, reach the brain, and form something like a membrane, pyogenic membrane of the abscess. But most of times, we should not be able to observe clear and classical pyogenic membrane with granulation tissue and with fibrous tissue strands around the abscess cavity because it's impossible. We don't have fibroblasts positioned in the brain. We don't have fibrocytes inside. This one is sort of membrane which is mostly demarcated by foamy cells and neutrophilic leukocytes, which are actually producing pus, which goes inside in the cavity of the abscess. And that is why it's called actually pyogenic, because it's producing pus. Necrotic and debris structures observable inside. And pretty much that's all. Now, you will be asked, what is the pathogenesis? Definitely, it could be a bacterial one because we have neutrophilic inflammation, which is acute. Also, it could be by neighbor structures who are inflamed, which might be, for example, rhinitis, sinusitis, even a simple caries could lead to this type of inflammation in the brain. Even tonsillitis also could be inflammation of the ear, middle ear duct definitely could also take part in the spread of this type of inflammation. And finally, this is actually a complication of encephalitis, which is at the form of abscess. So pretty much that is all. Perhaps you will be asked some of the things that you remember from general pathology. How many types of acute inflammation do you know? What type of acute inflammation is the abscess? It's purulent inflammation. It's well demarcated by a pyogenic membrane. When it's chronic, it disappeared. I know, but you don't need it anymore anyway. So pretty much that is everything that you should mention. How is a phlegmone looking like? That's most of it that you should mention here.